Hey guys, it's Magaz here, connecting you to Airsoft. Welcome back to the channel. If it isn't welcome back, then hit that subscribe button so next time you visit, I won't look like an idiot saying welcome back, even though you've never actually been here before. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a new release from ICS, the latest game changer. The pistol that's going to turn heads on the field and could be a fantastic platform for speedy boys to build the next CQB's blaster on, the ICS Hicapa Challenger. Before we get into the nitty-gritty meat of this review, I need to mention that ICS sent this pistol out to me to test, review, create content with and promote. I've been part of the ICS captain team since 2017. With that in mind, I do try to be as unbiased as I can with these reviews, regardless of whether I have a relationship with the company or not. That being said, let's take a look at the Challenger. The Challenger is ICS's first entry into the Hicapa market. For those of you unfamiliar with the term Hicapa, I believe it is short for high capacity. The Hicapa platform is a modernized 1911 pistol, often referred to as the 2011 platform, and features updated and modular parts and a double stacked magazine, hence high capacity. The Hicapa as a platform is massively popular with competition shooters and speedy boys alike. The TM compatible Hicapa has been around for close to 20 years at this point and is one of the go-to standards for high performance pistol builds. The catalogue of aftermarket parts is almost unending, which means you can build a Hicapa to match any aesthetic. From a slick Infinity build to a split slide bright pink HP tapped CQB Demon. The ICS Challenger is a premium entry into the steadily growing lineup of pistols that ICS already has to offer. It is available in the UK for around £179, which is £100 more than most of the other ICS pistols. For this price point, you should be expecting a solid pistol with a lot of features, parts and accessory cross compatibility and great performance. Without spoiling the rest of the review too much, ICS have covered all of those bases and really hit it out of the park with this one. Inside the box is the Challenger itself and a 30 round magazine. There is also a 14mm counterclockwise thread adapter, a cleaning and unjamming rod, a cover for the gap that removing the red dot mount would leave, and a recoil reverse plug retention clip, which is a tool for helping with a full takedown of the pistol and an Allen key for making trigger adjustments. When you first pick up the pistol, you can feel the solid construction and the 963 gram of weight. If you have experience handling a 1911 or 2011 series pistol, you'll be more than familiar with the controls on the Challenger. We will go over them here anyway. All of the controls on the Challenger are made from metal. Just throwing that out there first so I don't have to mention it every time I point out something different on the pistol. The skeletonized trigger as stock has a very light pull. This is tunable to allow for a longer or shorter length of pull. To do this, simply insert the provided Allen key into the front of the trigger and tighten or loosen the grub screw. The magazine release is prouder than most Hicapa mag releases and is on the left hand side of the frame. The slide release is also extended and is reachable even for players like myself with Frodo Baggins sized hands. The standard 2011 safety wings on the rear of the frame are on both sides of the pistol and are easy to flip on and off. A common feature on Hicapa pistols is the beaver tail safety device. This must be squeezed with the correct grip to allow the trigger to be pulled. The hammer is skeletonized, angular and has serrations on the top surface to aid with grip. A 20mm Picatinny rail is incorporated into the aluminium alloy frame to allow the mounting of accessories. This rail has 4 locking points. Most Hicapas only feature 1 or 2 locking points on their rails, which can make mounting some lights or lasers quite difficult. The Challenger allows the easy mounting of pretty much any device you have without having to modify the rail or the device in any way. The hand grip is polymer and may have been designed by whoever was the interior decorator for the Death Star. In place of a more standard stippling for grip retention, it features long diagonal lines that wrap around the grip. The backstrap of the grip does, however, feature a more standard stippling. At the bottom of the grip is an aluminium flared magazine well. This is intended to aid with quick magazine changes. This is another feature on pistols that I am rarely keen on. It's down to aesthetics for me and flared magazine wells just don't look cool. Luckily, this is removable and after this review is over, it is one of the changes I'll be making to the pistol. The outer barrel is fluted and features an integrated 11mm clockwise thread which allows the use of some muzzle devices, or the attachment of the included 14mm counterclockwise thread adapter, which opens up the amount of attachments you can use massively. The chamber features the markings .38 Super, game changer. The slide is aluminium alloy and very sleek in design, aside from the weight reduction cuts that feature heavily on the upper surface. Personally, I would have much preferred to see this without any cuts in the slide. I'm never a big fan of cuts in any pistol slide, and I would love to see an aftermarket slide from ICS with these cuts removed. The left-hand side of the slide features the markings Challenger and Cal 38 Super competition grade. The real airsoft caliber markings and serial number are on the lower edge of the trigger guard. The big selling point of the slide is the red dot mount plate that sits proudly at the rear of the slide. It has a rear sight built into it with glow-in-the-dark dots to match the front sight blade and features mounting points for both RMR and Doctor style red dot sights. The mount can be removed easily and replaced with a standard Hicapa rear sight. To fill the gap that removing the mount would leave, ICS also includes a plate to cover this gap. There are pros and cons to having the sight mount on the slide. The pros are, for those players wanting to mount a dot sight, there are no aftermarket modifications or parts required. But for those speedy boys who want to short stroke the slide and have as snappy and quick reset as possible, adding extra weight could slow down the reciprocation of the slide and increase the split time between shots. For me personally, I'm not trying to shave that extra 125th of a second off my shots. As long as I can get multiple rounds on target quickly enough to stop that enemy player, I'm more than happy with the performance. The hop unit is very solid and is a TDC design or top down central, where pressure is applied evenly from above. To adjust the hop, partial disassembly is required. The grip screw to adjust is on the lower side of the chamber and can be dialed in with an Allen key. The hop rubber itself is designed to lift BBs heavier than 0.3 grams. It features a Master Mods R-Hop arm and a 6.04 by 130mm stainless Master Mods barrel. ICS also includes a softer rubber for lighter BBs in the box. I tested this Challenger at level 2 airsoft in Atherton. The heaviest BBs I had at the time were .25s. With the stock hop rubber, they were fine in a CQB environment, but I noticed as they reached around the 30 meters mark, there was a definite lift that may make shot further than that a little more difficult. Given the nature of the sight though, there are only a handful of areas that you will be engaging anything around the 30 meter mark. For the most part of it, it was super close quarters CQB, in which the Challenger more than excelled. The magazine holds 30 rounds and has plastic feed lips. It comes pre-installed with the Revo 2 valve system, which allows for better gas efficiency and can be fine-tuned for colder and hotter climates. For more information on the Revo valve, a tutorial video by ICS is included in the cards. The base plate is polymer and features indentations to aid with stripping the magazine out of the magazine well or a pouch. The side of the magazine also features grooves that run the length of it. A minor feature, but one that is really great, is the fact that the gap for loading the BBs covers pretty much the entire length of the magazine, compared to a KJ Works magazine which only allows you to fill the BBs from the very bottom. One of the cons of the Challenger is something that is inherent to all 2011 pistols, and that is how easy it is to activate the safety wings when drawing and presenting the pistol. This is a design flaw with 2011 and 1911 pistols in general, and not necessarily something specific to the Challenger. Of course, some 2011s have stiffer safety catches and others have looser catches, which may increase or decrease the chances of this issue. But to prevent this from happening, I've spent a lot of time drawing the pistol from my holster, removing the safety as I present the pistol and using the wings as a thumb rest. So in effect, I always turn off the safety and physically prevent it from being activated until I reholster the pistol. This is something I recommend new Hicapa users take the time to train on and get used to. I did find during use in CQB at level 2, when transitioning to my support hand, even when riding the safety with my thumb, I would often find that the safety was engaged. Whether this was me not gripping the pistol in the same manner due to shooting left-handed and not being as refined with my grip, it could even be me not gripping the beaver tail as tight and not activating the built-in safety correctly. Either way, it did feel more like a user-induced malfunction rather than an issue with the pistol, one that training, use and experience should hopefully remedy. When you come to dismantle the pistol completely, the provided tool makes removing the spring and spring guide super easy. With the slide released, push the spring guide towards the front of the slide, slide the hoop of the tool over the spring guide and insert the end of the tool into the small hole. Carefully release the spring and it will hold the tool in place. Now, the spring guide and spring can all be removed as a single piece. I'm not going to cover all of the internal parts in this video, but they are all TM compatible and can be upgraded and replaced as you see fit. There are a number of videos out there from serious Hicapa users that go into major detail on the internal parts. Rather than rehash poorly what they say, I'll just link them in the end cards. Now onto the fun section. First, we will chrono the pistol. Switching out to the KJ Works CO2 magazine, we can see a variation on the FPS, especially on those first shots, which could put it over the limit for some CQB sites, but it does settle down after a few rounds.
ICS CO2 magazine.
The CO2 magazine performed fantastically when I ran it at level 2. I managed to get close to 3 full magazines from a single CO2 bulb, and the muzzle report was significantly barkier and the snappiness of the slide was crisp and smooth.
Contact right side, Alex. No, you're not firing anything.
You're firing back. Now you're firing.
For the accuracy test, we can only really fire up to 30 feet at the studio, so that is what we'll be doing. For the first test, I will be firing .30 gram BBs, unsupported offhand with the standard sights at an A4 IPSC style target. The next test is standard sights with the pistol supported in a workbench. As you can see, at 30 feet, you can easily hit an A4 target consistently and accurately. Running this pistol in CQB will see you with a good chance of hitting a man-sized target every time. The next thing we'll take a look at is magazine compatibility. We've already seen the KJ Works CO2 magazine in action, but one thing I will note about that particular magazine is the base plate requires sanding down to allow it to fit. The front end of the base plate lifted up about 5mm higher than the rear and would hit the magazine well. Removing the base plate allows the magazine to fit, but I opted to run some 100 grit sandpaper over it and smooth out the issue. WE, Tokyo Marui and SRC magazines have all been confirmed to work by ICS in a video on their Facebook page.
First was the ICS magazine. Okay. Now the WE magazine. Good. Now the Tokyo Marui magazine. Very good. Now the SRC CO2 magazine. Pretty sweet.
Next, we'll take a look at another option on the market and the way I will be running this particular pistol in CQB, the Airtech Hicapa MP5 adapter. Adapters like this are popular in the field, especially with the speedy boys. I opted rather than the AR adapter to go with an MP5 version. The magazines are sleeker and can be seen as, it's just a pistol round going into a pistol. That could just be an extended mag that's not ruining my immersions. The magazine system is built around the WE magazine I used at level 2. Of course, with this adapter in use, I can increase or decrease the muzzle velocity. I'll be keeping it around the 300 mark though, because I'll be primarily running this in a CQB environment. I can show you it in use at level 2 airsoft in Atherton.
Yeah, we'll take it. Hey, where's he at? Oh. I demoed you, dude. Let's get you in the dick. Sorry, dude. I've got padded on my feet. Yeah. Oh yeah, go. Shit, yeah.
The pistol performed really well in CQB. Out of the box, it will work, run fantastically, and has all the features you would expect from a premium pistol. The downsides for me are only aesthetic. I dislike cutouts and slides, and I don't like the flared magazine well. Of course, the mag well is removable, and I'm sure with a little ingenuity I can find a way to fill those cutouts and make for a sleeker slide. Performance-wise, I really enjoy shooting the Challenger. While I am more familiar and comfortable with Glocks and FN style pistols, a Hicapa is a nice change of pace. Given I've forked out a sizable amount on a HPS setup and a magazine adapter just for this pistol, it is definitely one that is going to see a lot of use in my CQB videos. If you see me at an event and want to give it a try, give me a shout and I'll let you shoot somebody with it. If you want to pick up a Challenger for yourself, find your nearest retailer that stocks ICS products and call in to their store. Remember, supporting your local brick and mortar store is key to helping grow a solid local community. Even if they don't stock it, ask and they might be able to order one in for you. If you have enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and let me know down below. Please hit the like button. Let's see if we can break 69 likes on this one. Hit subscribe to see more airsoft gameplay, reviews, news, interviews and random shenanigans. If you want to support the show, you can jump on over to patreon.com/cbnpc and become a Roy for as little as $1 a month. Subscribe to stay updated and see when new videos go live, and if you want to see an amazing gameplay video, go ahead and click this video right here, or check out the other videos that I mentioned earlier that are also on the screen. As always, I'm Magaz, and remember kids, the air may be soft, but our balls are hard.